Hello and welcome back to Quirk Analysis 101, this series where I give you a detailed rundown on the quirks in the world of My Hero Academia. In the last video, I discussed the ability that belongs to probably the most forgettable character in the entirety of My Hero. He literally has 6 seconds of screen time, 4 of which are this image of his hand, Gordon Ramsey, eat your heart out, the cook hero, Lunch Rush, and his superly simple quirk that is, Lunch Rush. I'm not gonna lie, if any of you guys even knew who this guy was before, or even after the last video, I'd be impressed. Gold star for you. You now have some of the most useless information any human can possess. In today's video, I'll be discussing the ability that belonged to Mr. Handcannon and number 2, Katsuki Bakugo doppelganger from the past, it's definitely the hair, currently unnamed second user of One For All, which now belongs to Midoriya. Wow, this guy's really going from 0 quirks to all the quirks.
3, 2, 1, and scammer get scammed, buddy.
And now, without further ado, let's rev our way on over to the energizing, ecstatic, e-gad, it's amazing quirk that is Gear Shift. Gear Shift is a close-range emitter-type quirk which first appeared in chapter 368 of the My Hero manga, and of this video is yet to appear in the anime. This quirk grants its user the ability to manipulate the speed and velocity of anything they touch, including themselves. Basically, this quirk allows the user to change the direction and how fast anything they touch is moving. Think of it like you can apply a speed boost to whatever you touch. All it takes is a quick tap and zip zap zoop, it's got a boost. Now initially, this quirk was only capable of affecting small objects, such as bullets or my will to live. But after getting juiced up by the power of One For All, it can now affect up to human-sized objects and possibly even bigger. One For All, the power that keeps on giving. But come on, we can all agree it's basically the steroids of the My Hero world at this stage, right? Now, in regards to abilities, once again, this quirk has very little. Alone, Gear Shift honestly isn't that great. As I've said, without One For All to back it up, Gear Shift can only affect relatively small objects, with the only time we've actually seen it being used by itself being when the second user used it to curve a previously shot bullet around and increase its speed. So, as far as we are aware, that's its only practical use alone. However, when this quirk is powered by One For All, this is a whole different story, as it can not only be used to increase the speed of the user's own body, increasing their overall speed and power, but it has the capability of boosting the user so much that they can easily break the sound barrier with a single strike. This means that this quirk allows them to hit their opponent with an attack traveling 760 miles per hour. Oh yeah, this isn't your average boost. And to make it even more amazing, that's just the surface, as we've seen Midoriya use this quirk to break the sound barrier at its lowest level. You see, through a technique called transmission, the user of this quirk can adjust the level of boost gained by this ability, with there actually being 4 levels available to the user, aptly named Gears. And before you say it, yes, Midoriya can now go through gears like a certain beloved future pirate king to increase his power. One Piece is truly taking over the world. The first level of this quirk is called Low Gear, which gives the user the initial benefits and boost of this quirk. You know, shattering sound barriers and such. Following this, there's second and third gear, which as you could probably guess, both substantially increase the user's speed even more. And finally, there is Top Gear, which is the final and fastest speed the user can reach with Gear Shift. Midoriya primarily uses these gears with a flurry of punches, attacking his opponent while increasing the gear of this quirk and thusly his speed and power with every consecutive attack. Basically, he hits you with multiple punches that get harder and faster with every hit. Although it is important to note, the user can not only go up in gear, but down them as well. So if you're at second gear or above and you need to slow down for whatever reason, you can revert back to low gear, instantly reducing your speed. This speed reduction also works mid-movement, so if you're jumping through the air and you lower gears mid-jump, you will instantly lose momentum and lose all your boosted speed. This is great for changing your tempo in a fight or for feinting an attack on your opponent. However, as great as all of this is, thanks to One For All, Gear Shift's true power comes out when it's combined with other speed and power enhancing quirks, such as Fajin, a quirk I have actually recently made an analysis on. Oh yeah, you best believe those power enhancers can stack. By combining the power of Fajin and Gear Shift in a move rightfully called Overdrive, the user is able to go above and beyond their normal limitations, granting them a boost said to be equivalent to that of 100 120% of One For All. So, however strong One For All is alone, with these two quirks, you can go stronger. But if one overdrive attack isn't your forte, don't worry, as instead, with the speed of Gear Shift, you could just hit your opponent with multiple full power attacks in basically a single second, just as Midoriya did when he performed 5 whole 100% Detroit smashes on a target before it left his punching range. Now that's monstrous. Did I also mention that each of these punches also helped recharge Fajin? Honestly, it's a wonder why some villains even try these days. There ain't no amount of money or pride that's worth that type of beating. Unfortunately though, this is the part of the video where I talk about this quirk's weaknesses. And as all quirks go, there are quite a few. Now in saying that, when it comes to Gear Shift alone, i.e. not powered by One For All, there's actually no known weaknesses. It does have its limitations of only being able to affect small objects roughly the size of a bullet, and the speed boost it offers isn't that incredible, but other than that, there are really no flaws other than being essentially worthless in the real world. But when it comes to the power-up version, as amazing as it is, there are also some tremendous downsides. The biggest being that there is a time limit on how long the user can apply Gear Shift to their own body. Now, funnily enough, this is actually two weaknesses, as there's two time limits involved with this quirk. The first time limit is over-usage based. Basically, when the user moves with Gear Shift, they move so fast that oxygen can't travel around their body fast enough to keep up with the energy the user is outputting. So, if you keep Gear Shift applied to yourself for too long, your body will eventually run out of oxygen and your cells will start to deteriorate, severely injuring you and eventually leading to your demise. Basically, having Gear Shift activated for too long destroys the cells in your body, killing you. It's actually a lot like the villain 9 from the Heroes Rising movie. The more he overused his quirks, the worse his cells got. The second time limit of this quirk is actually a bit of a mystery. When Midoriya first activates Gear Shift, the vestige of the second user warns him that he will only have 5 minutes of battle time before he will be taken out of the fight. It's unclear as to what exactly happens to the user after those 5 minutes are up, but it's clear that once 5 minutes pass, the user will be unable to fight. So not only can this quirk only be used in short intervals, but upon activation, you have 5 minutes to get what you need done before being taken out yourself. Best make sure you make those 5 minutes count. Oh yeah, there's also the weakness that you have to touch the thing you want to apply Gear Shift to. So if your body is restrained and you're unable to touch yourself, then this quirk is worthless. Man, a lot of quirks rely on touch. You think Horikoshi has a fetish? But enough of the weaknesses, now it's time to talk about this quirk's potential. For starters, since the user can change the velocity of anything they touch, by simply making contact with their opponent, the user could activate Gear Shift on them, sending them barreling through the sky, straight into the ground at an insane speed, or even closer to the user, allowing their attack to hit deeper. Also, for long-range attacks, the user could essentially turn any human-sized object into a projectile. All you gotta do is touch it, change its velocity, and boom, it's hurtling at insane speeds towards your target. But the biggest potential this quirk has to offer, in my opinion, is the fact that when you're in an epic battle and someone says the tagline, "Let's kick it up a gear," you can literally do it. What? I thought it was cool. And that's everything you need to know about the quirk Gear Shift. If you liked this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Let me know in the comments what quirk you want me to cover in this series next, and always remember to go beyond plus ultra.